Welcome to The Chatter, your end of the week ear candy for what to eat, drink, see, and do in Richmond, Virginia, right damn now.
The Richmond experience is independently owned and created by locals, us, for locals, you. From recent openings and the latest trends to time-tested traditions and hidden gems, we're here to help you experience the very best that RVA has to offer.
Hi, I'm Paige, RVAx owner and chief marketing officer. I'm the face you see in front of the scenes on Instagram and TikTok, taking you to all the latest and greatest hotspots around town.
And I'm Kelsey, RVAx owner and editor-in-chief, working behind the scenes on your Wednesday and Thursday newsletters, the Weekly Insider and the Weekender, and City Guides.
Happy New Year, Kelsey!
Happy New Year, Paige! How are you doing? How do you feel?
2025. I'm ready.
I'm ready to go too. I think we had a lot going on this year, and it's always nice to start fresh.
Yeah, I am super excited about this year. I don't know about you, but 2024 was a year.
It was jam-packed.
Yeah. So do you have any ta-das you want to share?
Well, I think it's crazy to think how this podcast started this year, but I feel like that's got to be a big ta-da. We kind of started planning it early on, and then launched it midway, and then now here we are into our 20s as far as episode numbers go.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride. The podcast was huge for me. Passing my WSET 3.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was this year too.
Yeah, that was really big. Closing on a house.
I was going to say home buying. Wait, Paige, you're stacked for this year.
We bought the Richmond experience.
Yeah, speaking of purchases.
Yeah. And I moved in with Holly. It was a big year for me. A lot of changes, a lot of good changes, but I'm tired.
Yeah, personal and professional changes all around. It's been very exciting, but it's been exhausting.
Yeah, so that kind of leads me into this year. I don't know about you, but I feel like this year I accomplished a lot of goals, whether they were goals that I had intended on or, it just kind of happened. But I have been thinking a lot about how I want this year to be. And for me, I feel like time has been so fleeting lately.
Yes.
I can't believe we're already in 2025. So I think for me, I really want to focus on being more present this year.
Yes.
That's going to be my word of the year, presence. I live a life of social media, I am constantly documenting what I'm doing, where I'm going. My phone eats first, and sometimes that takes away from the moment. And I'm grateful for everything I do. I'm grateful for my job. I wouldn't change it for the world, but sometimes it takes you out of the moment. So I want to be more mindful of that this year. I want to just enjoy. We just accomplished so much, both of us.
It's so true.
And so I just want to sit in it. I don't want to go what's next,
Right.
I feel very comfortable right now. I'm cozy. I like it. I feel good. I feel healthy and happy, and I'm therapized.
Right.
I'm doing the work, and I just want to just enjoy this year.
Yes, I've seen going around on social media a lot that I'm paraphrasing, but that sentiment of at one point in your life, this is the life that you were dreaming of. And I feel like that very much resonates with me a lot with I've got 2 wonderful, beautiful, healthy kids. I have a very delightful husband that I'm happily married to. And I now, as of the end of this year, work for myself as an editor-in-chief of a media outlet. I mean, it's a stunning life. But like you're saying, it is kind of with the chaos of it all, very hard to stay focused on it. And I think that's one word I'm going into next year with. I've talked to my therapist a lot about that, about just staying focused on one thing at a time, if possible, and when possible, because if you can, it I feel makes it all feel a lot less overwhelming.
Yeah. And I'm sure your kids help you stay grounded a little bit. I can only imagine. And so even my kitties, I feel they've made me even a little bit more present in the past weeks. So
right. Well, when it's you think about these different things in your the business is of course very important to us. We love this business. We are so excited for what it's been and what it could turn into in the new year. But there it's still like, it's work when you get down to it at the end of the day. And when you're focusing on these, like your family members, your kittens, like things in your life like that, it is a very good way to like remember the definitely top of the list important things and sort of ground yourself that way.
Mhm.
And then everything else I feel like benefits from that too.
Oh, yeah.
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 So
You gotta feed yourself first.
exactly. Ground yourself in those things that are the most important to you. And then everything else kind of grows from that, I think.
Yeah,
But it's a
absolutely.
lot. It's a lot. I mean, there's quite a bit going on. So it's a difficult practice. And it for sure is a practice. Like I am not skilled at it at all right now. And I feel like it's a work in progress.
Yeah, I mean, like, what does it mean to be, like, present? Like, for me, like, a lot of people are like, "Well, be off your phone." I'm like, "Well, I can't." Like,
Yeah,
I
it's my
literally
job.
can't. It's my job. So, for me, it's like I live such a busy life that I kind of forget. Like, when people are like, "What'd you do this week?" I'm like, "I don't know." So, Holly sent me this thing. You have a jar that's empty, and then at the end of each week, you just write something that you did over the week that you really enjoyed, and then at the end of the year, you have all this stuff that you did, and you go through it. And I'm like, that's a way to just be present, to
Right.
remember, to like take time, and it's just like trying to find those little things that you can do throughout the day or throughout the week that just kind of like sets you back.
Right. And
Um,
just, be mindful basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
So those are some of our little goals, but we have goals for the Richmond experience too.
We do. And we're very excited. We have like penciled in, it's kind of like still in scheduling, but Paige and I are going to take what we're calling like a company retreat at the
Yep.
end of January
Hmm.
and sort of like take a couple of like thorough days to just sit down and do some planning sessions for what
Yep.
we want things to generally look like in the new year under our new ownership, where we like want to keep things going the way that they've been going, and where maybe we'd like to, add our own little spin on some things, which we're very excited about. I think especially leaning into the socialness and social club of our brand is what we're mainly excited about, or what's on top of our list for sure, I think.
Yeah. Definitely getting our members together. I've even I don't even think I told you this, but possibly our first meetup. I think
Yes.
we have something in the books.
Oh
So,
my gosh, that's
yeah.
gonna be the top of our list for our planning session.
Yeah. So it's just we're excited. Back in the day, the Richmond experience, they used to meet a little bit more. And COVID changed the world. And we're still feeling that. So we're gonna try and get some things on the calendar, and we still have our book club too. We're
Right.
gonna talk about a little bit at the bottom of this, but that is something like if you want to make new friends this year, join our book club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just talking to some of our members at our last book club meeting of the year, and they were saying like they met a lot of friends in this club itself. So I think we really want to take that sentiment and add it to different things throughout the year, so that people, I mean, like that, especially for what we do, where we're trying to be like a resource for locals to get to better know your city, but for newcomers too, to like be introduced to it. I think like mingling and meeting other Richmonders is a huge part of all of that. So that's as what we do for the city is what we want to lean into as well. Like extend this book club meetup situation, and kind of like see where that could take us.
Yeah, I'm really
Especially,
excited about it.
yeah, add to the value of our membership situation for the our valued members, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
absolutely.
excited.
So that just leads us in. So what to eat, drink, see, and do in RVA in the new year. All right. So I'm up for eat, and we're going to take this as like a little new year theme,
Yeah.
right? And so, it's the new year. Everybody's trying to eat a little healthy, So I figured let's talk about my go-to spot for some salads. Which is the Continental. I usually go to the West Hampton location, but they also have a Manchester location. But perfect for a quick lunch or dinner, the Continental offers classic sandwiches, apps, and entrees, but a couple salads are some standouts. So they have the chopped Cobb salad. It's fresh, crunchy produce. It features romaine lettuce, avocado, eggs, roasted red peppers, cherry tomatoes, red onion, blue cheese crumble, served with blue cheese dressing. So good. And
Mhm.
then another one of my favorites is their Greek salad: romaine lettuce, tomatoes, feta, cucumbers, Kalamata olives, red onion, pepperoni, and house vinaigrette served with their pita. I also personally love to add their salmon because it's like
Ooh.
crunchy and crispy on the outside, to like all their salads as protein. But honestly, one of my go-to spots, I used to go there all the time,
Yeah.
and I haven't been in a minute, and I'm sad about it.
It's a favorite though. People love the Continental, and it has very good like classics, and the salads especially sound delicious.
Yeah, I think like literally every time I go there, if it's not for brunch, also very good brunch, I always get a salad there.
Yeah, it's a good tip. And we had at one point, I think we had geared this more toward things that you can kind of like cool off with in the hot months, but like we have a whole list of salads that are great to try around the city. So if like
Mhm.
you're kind of leaning into like the cleaner eating or just trying to add a few more vegetables to your diet in the new year, I feel like we could point you in the right direction of some delicious options.
Yeah, just
Mhm.
eat more vegetables.
Yeah, just add in more veggies.
That's
Just it's
it.
all about balance. You just need to balance a few more veggies on the plate.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm
So what do
speaking
we
to myself right now.
Yeah, me too. So what are we drinking though?
So for drinking, speaking of that, people around this time of year are very into dry January and kind of want to limit the amount of alcoholic beverages they're consuming, especially since the holiday season. It's kind of on overdrive for that. People around now are kind of trying to lean away from that. So I'm suggesting that you get into the habit of picking up more non-alcoholic drinks around the city. We have also rounded up quite a few places and spaces that we like for that type of thing, including Ninja Kombucha, Helen's Restaurant, Three Notch, Point Five, Virago Spirits, Hotel Green, and The Vale, which all have exceptional options for that kind of thing. But more and more, I'm finding that like this is sort of an offering that almost every spot you go to seems to have. Point Five I've been to in particular, they're a bottle shop. So if you want to do like at home mixing, you can do that with them. And then Three Notch, I've tried their non-alcoholic beers, which are always delicious. Ninja Kombucha, of course, we've had before. So there are a lot of good options that you can like dabble into, sort of like lean away from the alcoholic situation in January and beyond if you'd like to.
Yeah, I love that. I personally love Laura Lee's for
Oh,
some NA bevies. They also do a sober happy hour every third
yes.
Thursday. I'm sure they're doing that in the new year, but they always have mocktails there.
Yes.
Also, are you doing dry Jan?
I've never done dry January officially before, but it is like top of mind to kind of like, do we need to crack another bottle of wine or another beer like when we've been doing so much of it in the holiday season? So officially, no, but
Hmm.
maybe I should. Are you doing dry January?
I'm doing damp. Holly's doing dry.
Right, damp. That's the way to go, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, here's my mentality with it all, right? With everything: food, exercise, sun, none of it is good in excess. None
No.
of it. I am a true believer of moderation. Gosh, if it's meant for you and healthy for you, but I I'm definitely more of a moderator. Like if I've done I haven't done dry jam, but I've done many Whole 30s where I've
Mm,
I've eliminated way more than alcohol, but a lot of things, mostly to figure out what works for my body. And I realized through that, like I fiend then. Like what I'll do then if I don't have it all week, then on the weekend, like I want a lot of it. And then
right,
that's not good either.
right,
So I can like open a bottle and have it for the whole week and
right.
just enjoy a glass with dinner. And that's what I enjoy because I'm never really, obviously, I'm getting old. I don't drink to get drunk. I'm not young anymore. I'm like not doing that.
It just
I'm
doesn't slap the way it once did.
no, no. I'm drinking because I enjoy it and I love wine. And so for me, it's and when I've gone through all my wine education, it has made me appreciate wine a lot more. And it's a spiritual thing for me. Like it
Yeah,
really is. It's way more than just alcohol. It's a lot. So
yeah,
for me, it's a mindful thing. And I think it's always important to be mindful about what you're fueling your body with and what you're putting in your body, not just alcohol, but a lot of other things. So it's just, it's that time of year where take a step back, look at what's, reevaluate a little bit. But for me, I'm the kind of person that I just like to moderate a little bit versus just, take everything away.
Yeah, slash everything out. I think I'm very much that personality type too, as far as that kind of thing goes, where it's like it's really it's too intense, I feel like, to cut the whole thing. If it's naturally part of like what you enjoy, but if it works for you, it works for you. But if you're not that type of person and you're going for more of like a damp January kind of
Yeah.
thing, I think like switching a drink here and there for like a non-alcoholic beverage is a very good way to do it if you don't
Yeah.
just want to cut out everything altogether. But I agree with you. I'm kind of more in like the moderation space. I don't ever really commit to cutting it out all the way. Although dry January, very popular. Everybody
Yeah.
seems to get through it. It's a good way to kind of like test drive and
Reset.
see if that's the sort of like life that you want to, continue for the remainder of the year. You could try a couple of weeks and see.
Yeah, and I mean, Holly and I frequent Point Five quite often to pick up some beverages like during the week. Like maybe we don't want to open or a bottle of wine. So we like a lot of her ready to drink cocktails that have like CBD in them.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm a big fan, and again, I drink water and wine. So I
Right.
don't even drink pop or juice or any of that. So when I go for a mocktail, I don't want it to be full of sugar either.
Right.
So I personally love like crunchy hydration where it's just like an like a sparkling water with maybe some adaptogens or CBD or kava or something along those lines where it mellows you out. I kind of like that kind of stuff personally because I don't want a super sugary drink either because I every once in a while I'll drink a cocktail, but I'm more of definitely water and wine and
Yeah.
coffee kind of person.
Right. I can understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good substitute too.
Yeah, but it's like know yourself better. Are you an abstainer or are you a moderator? And, if you're an abstainer, good for you. If you're a
Right.
moderator, just know what you like, know what you need.
Right. This is a very great way and great time to sort of like figure that out for yourself as you're resetting for the year.
Cool, cool. All right, so now for C, we're going to see more books. So my goal is always to read more. Last year in 2024, I aimed for 40. I only
Ooh.
made it to 20.
Hey.
It's 20 something to celebrate.
Right.
Yeah.
They're goals. We're just working on goals.
Yeah. I didn't know I was going to take my W set, and I think I should count that for
I
about
was going to
20
say,
books.
yeah, that like counts for reading, I feel like.
Yeah. So never mind, guys. I made it.
No, yeah, 40.
But if your goal is to read more, consider joining our RVAx book club. So our group meets monthly. We usually meet on a Wednesday or Thursday evening. The venue rotates, but we try to enjoy, the patio whenever the weather allows. At the end of each meeting, we ask members for book recommendations. We check out what's trending, and then we send out a poll. And then the book with the most votes becomes our pick for the following month. We kind of do a month in advance now. And then we send out a meeting invite with all the details, like the date, the location, and the book. And if you can attend, we ask that you can RSVP. And that's it. Easy peasy. So you'll read more, you'll make more friends, and you'll explore Richmond. So it's like a win-win-win.
Right.
And if you don't read the book, no shame here.
I'm
Still
here
join
for
and
you.
mingle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like we're not that kind of club. We're pretty low key. It's pretty chill. So even if you start the book and don't finish or didn't like it, like a lot of people do that. Like last night we had like almost a whole table that didn't read the book but still wanted to come and hang out, and that is
Right.
fine.
Yeah. And I'm a big proponent of like not life is too short. If you're not liking a book, you don't need to finish this.
Yeah.
And of course, as I always say in our book club meetings, more often than not, right now in my phase of life with like the busyness of the children running around,
Mhm.
finishing a book is so much more of a project. So like I'm here for those people who like kind of just wanted to come hang out.
Yeah.
Maybe didn't do the reading.
Absolutely. And then we also encourage shopping local for all your bookish needs. So I'm a big fan of Fountain Bookstore. It's a cozy female-owned shop that has been a staple in Richmond since 1978. They have a well-curated selection of books organized by genre and interest with plenty of new releases and trending titles. Don't miss the staff picks. They are so knowledgeable. I love the shelf talkers. We've talked about this before. I don't know if we talked about this on the pod, but in book clubs, I pick up a book blank.
Yes.
Like, I don't read the back of the cover. I go based on recommendations or friends or what's, trending or just like what's out there, like what I see. So it's very often that I just go in a fountain and I read one of those shelf talkers and I just pick it up.
I love that too. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like knowing less before you go into it is a very fun way to read.
It's an adventure.
Yeah,
It's like a blind date. I have a blind date book every time.
exactly. That's super cute. I very much love this trait about you, Paige.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is so not my personality.
I know it doesn't really like jive with the rest of what I know about you, but
I
maybe that's
know.
why I love it so much because it's like unique to what I know about your other traits.
Yeah. So I don't know why, but
Yeah. It's a
I
good
don't know.
way, I feel like, to have sort of like a no plan for your reading. Like maybe that's what it is. If you're a very
Maybe.
organized, planned person, this
Yes.
kind of leans away from that.
And I love control.
Right.
So
This is a nice way to lean away from that safely.
yeah. And then one more thing about Fountain, just because if you do want to get out there and make more friends or read more, Fountain hosts more author programming than any other entity in Virginia. So they always have author chats. They always have signed books. So check out fountainbookstore.com to just see what's happening, what's coming up. They're the best.
They really are the best. It's so cozy over there. I could get lost. It's such a tiny shop, and yet I could get lost over there if I were left unattended for too long. It's the cutest.
Literally every time I go in there, I'm in there for like an hour.
Oh yeah, their booksellers are like with the staff recommendations, of course,
Yes.
but are also just so knowledgeable. If like you're looking around on the shelves and you don't find exactly what you're looking for, you can ask them and they will 100% know where to point you. It's just the best little shop over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Get over there, make your reading goals. You don't have to stick exactly to them if you want to change it up by the summertime or something. Just, start somewhere and see where you get.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the best. And let our book club help lead the way if you so choose.
Yeah, we read 11 books last year.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get you, at least on a pretty consistent pace if that is something that would be helpful to you.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll round us out for due in the new year. This is always something on my mind throughout the year, but especially when we restart, is maybe picking up a new exercise routine or just getting back into one that maybe like fell by the wayside in the busy season of the holidays. Monument Avenue 10K, of course, is coming up and happens early on in the spring. And this year it's going to be on Saturday, April 12th, and registration opened in December for it. So it's top of mind for Richmonders right now. And that's always something that I look forward to, especially in the first half of the year, as far as like exercise related things go. Running is not my favorite thing to do, but it is so accessible because it's just right out your door if you'd like it to be. And last year I participated a little bit in their training sessions for the Monument Avenue 10K, which is like another great way to like meet other people in the community. They have various options for like running levels. So it's not like you need to be like a sprinter or anything or like a seasoned runner. You can go over there and just train to walk the race, because I don't know if people are aware, having run it before and walked it before, walking can be intense itself. It's a long distance to be just like straight walking. So getting in the practice of that is something that you can do with this training team that they have available every year. But just, getting into some movement, I feel like is always good to remind yourself to do, especially at the top of the year and as it's getting colder outside.
Yeah. And I mean, I love walking the monument. I used to run it, again, back in the day.
Right.
But now I walk it. And we always are, judging the spirit contest.
Right.
So it's always fun to just, take a beat, get outside, walk. Walking is so good for you. You're
really
going to do it for the rest of your life.
I know.
Hopefully.
Yes.
So get out there and walk.
Yeah, so keep things moving and grooving. It's a good thing too to like have on your calendar. By this time, if you're like starting now with your training at home and then you get into the training sessions, you've got months ahead to like take your time and adequately train yourself. It's just a fun thing to set on your calendar and look forward to and work toward if you're interested in getting out and about in that way. We love it. And of course, walk, run, half and half, whatever you feel like.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
those are some great tips to start 2025 out strong. So text us. What are your goals?
Yeah. Tell us
What are
what
your
your goals are.
Yeah. Text us. Tell us what some of your goals are. Tell us what maybe some ta-das. We'd love to like maybe share some of our
Yes.
listeners' goals for the new year. I'm really into it. Grounds me, tethers me. I love it. So I love to hear others too.
Yes, it's a great way to reflect positively on your year behind and then look forward to the months ahead. I would love to hear them too. Text us, like Paige says, and let us know your to-dos and your to-dos.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening, Richmond. And by the way, there's more where that came from. Joining the Richmond Experience as a member is the best way to stay in the know about what's going on in RVA.
Not to worry, we refuse to sell your info or bombard you with ads, but we do charge a small annual membership fee of $39 a year to fund our team so we can keep doing this awesome work. Plus, a portion of each annual membership purchase for the Richmond Experience goes to rotating nonprofits each month. That's like $1 per week to get an all-access pass to the best of RVA and lift up local orgs. It's a really, really good deal, friends. And listen, what are friends for anyway? Use code CHOWDER to get $10 off your first year subscription.
Give us a follow on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at The Richmond Experience, and on Instagram at The Chatter and RVA2. And if you enjoyed this episode, send it to your buds and rate, review, and subscribe.
And if you want to keep up with each of us, you can find me at Kelsey Heinz's Typing on Instagram.
And me, Sips and Trips with Paige on Instagram.
Chat with you next week, RVA.